Hey everybody, and welcome to the Savannah Spotlight. I'm one of your hosts today. My name is Ammie Dover, and I am joined by, once again...
Hello everybody, I am Michelle Horne, and I am so thrilled to be back here for the next episode of Savannah Spotlight. Today I am so excited to introduce you guys to Joyce Williams, who is the founder of the Keepers of the Flame Foundation. Joyce, can you tell me a little bit about your personal struggles and your journey that led you to start the Keepers of the Flame Foundation?
Yes, of course. Thank you. Thank you again for having me. I was diagnosed, I'm a survivor myself, I was diagnosed in 2017, and it was incredibly trying, not only physically, but emotionally as well, and I wasn't expecting that. So in a 10-month period, I had a bilateral mastectomy, reconstruction, chemotherapy, radiation, and a hysterectomy. And what I was not anticipating happening with all of that was the emotional roller coaster. I wanted to be this, poster child, never falling, and I had to learn the hard way that that is not the way that it is. That's not the way that it happens, right? It's okay to be human. It's okay to fall apart, and that piece, our humanity, when we fall, when we feel, it doesn't equate to weakness. And I had to learn that the hard way. I found a lot of support in counseling, and I remember sitting there going, why don't people know about this? So fast forward time, found this most incredible team of people, and together in 2022 we founded Keepers of the Flame Foundation. And our mission is to empower local breast cancer patients to weather their storms, both physically and emotionally, because it's both.
I love that. What kind of programs do you have that's supporting them both physically and emotionally?
I'm so glad you asked. We are absolutely over the moon thrilled to be able to offer our community with the opportunity for financial assistance to psychotherapy. So we have we got a grant from Brothers Brother Foundation, and what we're able to do is if somebody locally is diagnosed with breast cancer, we want to support their mental health needs.
I love that.
So they can have up to 5 sessions for counseling, and then at the end, they're able to reapply. So we're super excited about that, because that's the piece that for me was missing. And when I started talking to other women, realizing that they were experiencing the same. So we're incredibly excited to have that opportunity for Savannah. And then we also offer hardship assistance. So that's that physical piece, right? So if they're going through treatment and they have to get to, say, their radiation, and who's going to watch their kids? Well, then we want to be able to help support with that. Or if the bills are starting to pile up and they're having to make tough choices, we want to be able to alleviate that a little bit. So that all comes from our hardship fund. And then we have another one, which is our empowerment photography, which is super exciting too, because it's an opportunity for our survivor participants to feel grounded in who they are, to kind of step in and own themselves again, because a lot of times as survivors we feel like our body has betrayed us, but it hasn't, and there's beauty in every bit of who we are despite the scars, physical or emotional.
Right.
I love how you define hardship, and I love the fact that you all offer this counseling, because so many people don't realize it's not just what's going through, happening with your physical body, but your mental state as well. So I think that's very important.
Thank you. Yeah, hardship is breast cancer, right? Like if you're diagnosed with breast cancer, that is a hardship. And so, we want anybody out there that is experiencing that diagnosis to know our tagline is together we weather the storm, right? So you're not alone. Like there is support out there, and together we will help weather it with those programs, with hardship and with therapy.
So many ways to help support. And I love this component of taking the photos. I mean, the transformation that someone would feel from coming in and being a little self-conscious to walking out with this really empowered woman. I mean, how do women even apply for a program like that? And where can we find these photos? I want to see some of these photos.
So the photos are on our website. If you go to togetherweweather.org,
Okay.
you can find the gallery that is there. And we will also, in October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we have the gallery set up on display throughout the city of Savannah.
Oh, wow.
And what I love about this particular program is it's actually a two-prong approach, right? The first piece is to provide that participant with the ability to experience the connection with themselves again,
Oh, wow.
right? And this, it's interesting. This came about because when I was going through all my hot mess and I was feeling like I was out of control, it was not only hard for me, but it was hard for my husband as my caretaker as well, right? And so he actually found a photographer for me personally, and so I got to have that. And so from my own story, I remember going through that, and it wasn't about, oh, let me have some pretty pictures. It was the experience itself, being able to know and reframe what it means to be beautiful.
Way to go, hubby.
I know, he gets
Love that.
mega awesome points for that one.
Wow.
But then I started talking to other women, and interestingly enough, some of my survivor friends were like, oh, I did a similar thing. And I was like, really? So we wanted to bring that opportunity to a very diverse group of women here locally, because there's no two breast cancer diagnoses that are the same, right? And it doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter where you live, how much you make. I mean, breast cancer can happen to anybody, and it's awful. But we want them to all know that reframing beauty, what makes you beautiful is the fact that you own your body. It is the vessel that carries you through this world every day, and it has not betrayed you. So that's prong number one. And then prong number two is the viewing of the gallery. So anybody that actually gets to view the gallery, because these women came up with their words and their inspirational message that they wanted the next person to see it,
Right.
to know. And so when you have the collection all together and you can see things like strategic rest, well, wait, it's okay for me to take a moment and pause, because oftentimes you feel like you gotta,
Preach, mama.
yeah,
Really.
But it's okay. Like, taking a moment to pause, to breathe, doesn't mean you're giving up. So to see this in this beautiful photograph of a survivor, to hear that message accompanied with all the other messages, one survivor even described it as experiencing a hug from others who have been there.
I love that. It's like it gives them hope. That's such an inspirational way to provide that hope for people who, are going through such a horrible time in their life, that they can depend on their sisters who have been through it before them and see that it's not always like this. Like, there is that light at the end of the tunnel, and you still are beautiful, and that's so important.
Yeah, you're beautiful in the midst of it all. Like, even if you don't feel that, right? I know I did not feel that.
Well, I think there's phases of the journey as well. And what I'm hearing from you is that you have components that will help the women through all of the phases, really coming to terms with it and having therapy, identifying what's important to you, identifying where you need help, and then coming back to yourself and say,
Yes.
this is who I am. It does not make me any less that I went through a hardship, but my body is strong, and I'm surrounded by strong women.
And I am enough.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
enough.
Yes, you're
Yes,
enough.
ma'am. Well, I love it. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm about to cry. Like, every time I talk to Miss Joyce, there's tears. And so I am thrilled. Tell everybody where they can find you once again, because I want everyone to go find these photos, and anyone who needs the resources to find that as well.
Absolutely. Know that, again, you are not alone. Together we will weather this storm. So our website is togetherweweather.org, and you can have access to all of our programs there. You can learn more about our therapy. There's a link to get you straight to our therapy landing page, so you can download immediately right there the application, and we can get you in. And then you can learn more about our hardship program and the empowerment photography as well.
Fantastic. Well, we would not be here today without the support of Horne Law Firm, and Michelle's gracing us with her presence as well. What a wonderful addition to the Savannah team.
Thank you, Joyce, so much for being here today and sharing your personal journey and your struggles. It really means a lot, and we really appreciate you showing up for Savannah Spotlight, and we're glad that we could shine the spotlight on such a wonderful foundation.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
I love it. I love it. All right. This is the Savannah Spotlight, where we are highlighting good humans doing good work right here in our local community. Thank you so much, Joyce. Thank you, Michelle. You guys stay tuned for that next episode.